let's talk a little bit about truth. We've talked a lot about lies. And there are, or at least there is one thing you can do to start to understand if someone's telling you the truth or not. It's watch their palms. People will show you their palms when they're telling you the truth. Well, let me back that up a little bit. When they're telling you their truth. So if they've passed a lot of other tests and then they say, we never went out partying last night in your car. Okay? They're telling you their truth. But see, that could be the truth. And you've got to run them through the other tests. Where are their eyes going? Are they doing convince? Are they doing convey? Are they fidgeting? Have they changed? Are they itching their face? And this is the last test. So you see every now and then athletes will go from being an athlete to being a preacher, like Tim Tebow has done that, and he's telling his truth because Jesus is the way. Okay. Now Lance Armstrong would always say, "Hey, I've never done drugs," right? As he nodded his head yes and showed his palms, telling his truth, and his body was saying, "Yes, I have." Okay. So watch for this. I'm telling you, it works. Do you ever wonder what someone's leg cross really means? Well, there's a lot of information there. And if people are in a group, you'll watch this happen over and over. Their foot will point to the leader of the group or who they're most interested in. So watch for their feet, because our feet are the part of us that actually we're in the least control of. So you'll see a group with the leader in the middle and to both sides, and this will naturally happen, people will cross their feet towards them. So watch for that. Now, people can cross their legs so that they're guarding against whatever you're presenting. Again, one of the easiest things to do to get them to open up is to get them up. It's impossible to cross your legs when people are standing up. Now, you're going to have your work cut out for you if you're getting the kind of leg cross that goes like this. This is a figure 4. They call it a cowboy cross. They don't do this in Europe, but this is creating a very cemented barrier between you and your idea and them. So if you see this, you're going to have a lot of work to do to get them on your page. Get them to move? Good luck. There are other ways to know if someone's really interested in you and whatever you're presenting. Do you ever see this? This is lack of interest. And females do this more than guys. Just resting your chin very lightly on the back of your hands. Kind of like this even. And you don't think you ever do that. You don't think you'll ever see that, but you do. And here's where you'll see it. Whenever you go to a restaurant and you're looking around and you just know two people are meeting and they're probably on a blind date, probably an internet date, and they're a mismatch. This is where you'll see this happen, because both of them, especially her, just wants to get out of there and eliminate the pain of meeting someone that they never should have. So watch for this. And if you see it, again, remember, where the body goes, the mind's going to follow. Get them to move. Hand them something, a piece of paper or a drink. More importantly, be more interesting. And you can eliminate boring other people around you. Everybody's heard that when you see someone with crossed arms, they are closed and not into anything you're saying. This may be the truth, but let's dig a little bit deeper and start to understand what the science reveals in a simple arm cross. Now, I I teach a lot of persuasion and influence, and you can get very strategic for your own persuasion and influence with this very move. If you see someone like this, it's not always because they're closed. And the risk is that if you leave them this way, they'll end up closed. So you want to say, they are actually comparing what you're presenting to what they know. And what they know is different. And so if you leave them this way, you run the risk of them staying closed. The best thing to do is to simply hand them something, because where the body goes, the mind's going to follow. Hand them something that they're going to want. A glass of water, or a drink that's stronger, coffee, alcohol. Maybe even you hand them a sticky note with a pen that's branded for your company, something they're going to want to take. Or you could even get really sly, and I taught a car dealer to do this. I'm not going to tell you which one they are. My sales guy that I had trained was getting beat up on the price of this minivan. He had no more room. The customer was priding himself in taking the salesperson down this low. And he had to either close the deal or let the customer go. So what he did was very strategically place a pen on his desk and accidentally flick it off into the floor so that the customer had to pick it up and hand it back to him. He uncrossed his arms, that opened up his mind, and they made the deal like that. So watch for this and do what it takes to get people to move so that you can get them open to your idea and get your deal done. So whenever you're selling something, you may see people do this kind of movement and show you this kind of body language. And this is a great one to see because they're making a decision. They're actually deciding something in their mind. And I think you see guys do this a little more than women. But when you see it, you've got to put yourself into the place of power. Because as a salesperson, you say what you think they want to hear, don't we? We all do that. And so you need to ask. You need to dig deeper so you understand what they're really deciding, because you may not have hit on their specific need yet. So when you see this, say, hey, I get that you're deciding something. What's the last thing you need to know in order to make this decision now? And at that point, you need to be careful because the conversation could take a left turn. You haven't possibly addressed exactly their concern in their mind. And so they may come out with something completely off the wall that you've got to be ready to handle. However, when you say, hey, what's the last thing you need to know in order to make this decision now? Gently nodding your head, yes. Then you'll find out what's really on their mind. You'll skip over all the extraneous stuff that doesn't matter that maybe you're addressing and get to the decision point a lot more quickly. It's happened to everyone. The question is whether you've paid attention to it or not. You ever been to a party or a networking event and you see someone, maybe with their back against the wall or maybe in the middle of the group, they don't have anyone to talk to and they're standing about like this. It's because they're uncomfortable. And this is the opportunity for you to make someone feel comfortable and be a hero. Because remember, where the body goes, the mind's going to follow. So if it's appropriate, just go talk to them. Maybe hand them something. Take them with you to the buffet table and be a little bit of a friend because they're feeling like they need to put a guard between themselves and whatever is going on across from them. Now, I actually had someone in one of my talks say, guys never do this. I said, yes, they do. You ever take a guy to one of his wife's friends' weddings? You'll see 3 or 4 guys standing backs against the wall, just observing, because they don't want to be there. So watch for this. And remember, when you connect with others around you, when you feel a deep unconscious need to take them out of uncomfortable into comfortable, they'll love you, but they won't quite know why. And when it comes time to ask for a favor, guess who'll say yes to you? It's this guy, because you've made his day.